Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. And of course, I got a rant, because Jesus. Let's start with the Oscars were on last night. I, as usual, didn't watch. And of course, I am happy to see RDJ won the Oscar for Oppenheimer. So, JD, we support on this channel whether you gaslighting AH supporters like it or not, because you can never seem to argue on anything other than feelings. We saw JD did a post congratulating RDJ, right? And then everybody is apparently an internet celebrity photo detective. That's annoying in and of itself. You all are exhausting with your celebrity worship, okay? Go outside and see the birds. Jesus. Alright. Can we first talk about how obnoxious it is that anytime any celebrity posts literally anything, somehow the neurotypical world collectively loses its shit, as well as any capacity or ability to use reasonable thought. Okay? Let's just start with how annoying and exhausting that is for a second. Put that aside, you have people who spend their literal lives 24/7 on Twitter, constantly trying to force a relitigation of a case that was decided 2 damn years ago. They stalk this person's Insta to levels that should actually be terrifying to the general public. Okay? This is stalkerish behavior. Just because it is a celebrity in question does not make it any less concerning of a behavior. Okay? You know what I mean? But yes, you have to save the world from us neurodivergent folk who use the same amount of focus and love in regards to our special areas of interest, which is usually one area or the other of learning or social commentary. No, we're the bad guys. I'm the bad guy because I know more about Roman the Empire than is probably mentally healthy. I'm the bad guy because I know the mythologies behind ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, like that I know the back of my own hand. But Joe Schmo over here is completely, utterly obsessed with one particular celebrity. They stalk their every social media move like a predator. They show up in places where it's announced through the grapevine that celebrity is supposed to be every single time. And this is considered normal behavior. Why am I bringing all that up other than obviously this has been a bone I've been wanting to pick for a good long time with the rest of so called normal society? Obviously, you can tell, right? They are having a fit because the particular photo that was put on JD's Insta was one of those Photoshop jobs that was from the more early 2020s. It's been circulating for a good long minute now. There are more than enough, because remember, the 90s was a particularly pap happy time period of him inside the Viper Room with JD, hanging out with JD, seeing musicians with JD. These two have literally been friends longer than a lot of people who are complaining about this crap have been alive. Alright? But it wants to show that he has friends. A man that has known him almost his entire adult life, putting it on the line and going to court and making a statement in regards to the things that he saw. Yes, I'm talking about Isaac here. Shows that that man has lifelong friends. Okay? People that have been in the industry for decades, such as Sharon Stone, Penelope Cruz, all these individuals who came up out of that same young person group during late 80s, mid 90s. Good majority of them are friends, if not at least friendly with one another. Okay? Stop it. Stop the celebrity nonsense. Stop relitigating a case that was decided 2 damn years ago. Take your heads out of your neurotypical asses and take a look around you, because there are 2 wars going on while I'm talking right now. You have disabled people and trans folk watching before our very eyes as laws that were put there to protect us and help us develop are being eradicated in alphabetical order. Okay? Sorry. Sorry for the rant, but God, it bugs me. People, we gotta stop with this celebrity worship nonsense. These are human beings that sadly live, as JD put it, in a world behind windows and behind doors, because you all have taken celebrity worship to such a point that they can't set a single foot outside their door without a camera being shoved in their face. Hey, it's even more disturbing when you have individuals so caught up in a celebrity case that they are willing to stalk and harass and continue to slander an innocent survivor because of it. Okay? Alright, sorry about the rant, but this crap just annoys me. There are a lot of things going on in the real world right now. There are other disabled people being abused, brutalized, and murdered every single day. Please take your nose out of celebrity ass long enough to be able to look around and see what's going on around you. Okay? Shake yourself of whatever celebrity induced haze you've been floating in for the last decade and join with the rest of us in reality. All right, to the disclosures. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, folks. You know the drill. Please read that article. Share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC actually does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1, where we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use the headphones, all right? Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously, parental supervision is very much advised. All right, so where we left off last time, right? No comment, folks. God help us. Some comments question the validity of FDA's attribution of certain risks of implantable cardioverter defibrillators to ESDs. One such comment argues that risks must be considered based on the intended patient population and purposes of the device, and there is no basis for attributing risks of ICDs to ESDs for SIB or AB. Oh, for God's sake. I am not a medical ER doctor. I'm going to take a crazy guess that the person who is making this comment is also not an ER doctor, medical professional. When it comes to any form of cardiovascular, anything of that nature, what they're talking about with defibrillators here, I'm going to go with the experts who spent their majority of their adult lives studying this very thing before I'm going to take the JRCs. It's really that simple. But you added that there might be risks. They said might, Karen. Now we're going to get into mincing words. Now it's our turn. Okay? Now it's our turn. But we questioned the validity because you attributed it to the device. For the love of God, no, they did not. But you said it's valid. Again, when it comes to things like it's mentioning here, although I know enough to be dangerous, there's a great deal of information I don't know in regards to specifically what it's speaking to here, the implantable cardioverter defibrillators. In regards to such situations, if there is risks involved, I'm going to lean on the side of the doctors that know such devices, as opposed to just whatever the JRC says is right. Okay? It You're kind of an idiot if you do anything else. I'm sorry, not sorry. We lie with the folks whose expertise lies specifically in this area, not the JRC who wants to use barbarity for treatment. All right? It's not that hard to figure out. I'm going to go ahead and do what I don't normally do and read on below here. Response: FDA agrees that the difference between ESDs and ICDs, including intended uses, prevent FDA from drawing meaningful conclusions from the ICDs about the risks of ESDs. In the proposed rule, we expressly observe that the devices have drastically different intended uses, patient populations, benefit risk profiles, and state of the art treatments for the intended patient populations. Allow me again, this is going to be one of those things, I just fucking know it in my soul, that there would have been absolutely no confusion about had we actually named the device in question, instead of leaning on the stick to the point that it breaks and shatters into a million pieces of the vague ESDs for SIB or AB. Okay? One of those many confusions that could have been all cleared out before the word go had we just named the device in the first place. Probably one of the many reasons that the FDA began to formulate a new ban done properly this time. Well, as you all know, the JRC just can't have that, so they're suing the FDA. We do have the complaints. I just wanted to get to this first before we go ahead and open up that special can of worms. You know? But let's read on, shall we? Upon further consideration with stakeholder input, we determined that the comparison of these devices is not enlightening for the purposes of this final rule and have updated our assessment of the risk profile of ESDs accordingly. In other words, we did everything but name the device, and that's why we're still here and having this conversation. Okay? These are one of the little things that the supporters of the JRC and their many bank rolling wallets, as I like to call them, have continued to use to throw in and completely confuse the conversation. That is why I say that you've got to be very specific, and for the love of God, you've got to have the balls to name the device in question. If you give an inch, the JRC doesn't take a yard, they take a continent. Okay? You can't give these people anything because this is what they do. They distort, they throw in completely unrelated things that can technically be a part of the argument because you opened the door with your vague reference in regards to the GED instead of naming it out specifically. So now we have 100 arguments, things that in no way, shape, or form reflect what's going on at the JRC or what they use that device for. Okay? It's frustrating. You have no idea. We're going to go ahead and close out, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. If you could, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time this morning. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a few seconds. Bye now.